I'm not gonna lie, I feel like in the gacha space, we are eating pretty darn well right now. We got the Cyberpunk collab in the next probably 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. We also have the Fate collab in Honkai Star Rail, where we have Rin, I can't remember her last name, all right, and Gilgamesh. Those are very big characters, especially in the anime sphere. And like I keep saying, I feel like we're anime fans before we are gacha fans. Gacha is a system we just have to navigate to keep playing these free-to-play games where we can get as much 2D anime baddies as we possibly can. It's just the system we have to, we have to navigate it to get the baddies, all right? Damn. And so I feel like SSR, especially right now, because, okay, let's call a spade a spade. SSR has been having a bit of a PR crisis with the fan base, right? Because power creep at some point became so present. You can only enjoy your unit for like 3 to 4 patches before you're like, well, that's just not good enough anymore. Time to switch it up. You gotta get the new one because that's the best way to approach content, which is understandable, but it's just too fast, right? It's just too fast. Like, I feel like the new units should offer maybe a different type of playstyle in how to approach the content, but not necessarily just completely power creep the previous one that just kind of released recently. Like 3 patches is not that much of a long time when you consider the nature of these live service games. However, though, recently I've been very interested in trying SSR again. I'm trying to revive my account. I have to count on my boy Happy. Shouts out to my boy Happy. He takes care of my Genshin account. I hope he can handle the Honkai Star Rail one as well, because it's very hard for me to play as many gacha games, especially reviving an account when I'm this swamped, all right? I gotta move soon, etc. It's very hard to be by myself right now. So I'm really trying to put everything together to have the best experience with SSR, because I do want to give it another shot and give my review on that also for players that may be skeptical like myself to really want to add SSR once again to their daily roster of gacha games. And this sentiment of mine was before the announcement of the Fate Stay Night collab, and with that, of course, I'm very, very excited, right? I think to this day, Archer is still one of the best units within the game, and those given out completely for free. I think Gilgamesh is also the character you're going to be getting for free. A Giga Chad male character. I'm pretty sure it might be added with Archer if we consider the past trend, right? I mean, Archer is still tier 0, so I'm pretty sure Gilgamesh might be tier 0 too. And if we get a tier 0 unit like that, that'd be freaking fantastic. And of course, this also tells me, because we see these characters being for free, also tier 0, the power creep is diminished. There's free-to-play options you can use to clear content, which I think is freaking superb. So with this in mind, I feel like the community has really taken to the internet to express their excitement and I think there's a lot of players like myself that are very excited to give SSR another go, especially come the Fate Stay Night collab day. But that doesn't seem to be everybody, because there seems to be someone who's very skeptical and let's just say want to wake us up for us to not be too excited and maybe get disappointed later. And that is, of course, good old Saint Tontas. If you enjoy this type of content, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell to not miss any updates.
I guess I better go subscribe to VXV Gacha.
And if we look here in the thumbnail, Hoyo can't be trusted. Fate is ruined. There's clear dislikes, of course. I think a lot of people are not going to be I'm not going to resonate too much, because I feel like people are very emotional right now in their excitement of SSR. And I feel like this is where people like Saint Tontas can, let's just say, balance some of the sentiment. Because, well, if you remember in the first Fate Stay Night collab, like the characters and everything was great, but there was a lot that was lacking, because a lot of people gave it like a 5 out of 10 in terms of the events that happened. If you remember, the zone was basically Finon's place. They just made it to be England or something, where Saber came from. It seemed lazy. It seemed a little not too well polished. Obviously, the characters are still good additions to the game, but I feel like there was a missed opportunity in terms of how they applied the actual event, collab event, right? Especially when you look at Wuthering Waves and what they're trying to do with the Cyberpunk. And also how Wuthering Waves is known to deliver very good quality events and gameplay, right? You're more excited and you know you're in good hands in WUWA, considering the track record, than, of course, SSR. So, of course, there's going to be a little bit of skepticism with that in mind. However, I think for me personally, I think they're going to learn from that. They know how... let's just say the feedback was the first time they weren't too lazy, and considering how they're going about power creep recently, I think there's a little bit of change within SSR, of course. And this is a good opportunity for them to change it up and regain some of that trust players have lost within SSR. And I feel like considering the feedback and everything they know so far, they might be delivering a good quality product more than last time, of course, because last time it just wasn't the best, obviously. So let's hear what good old Saint Tontas has to say, and we'll go from there.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back at it again with another Honkai Star Rail video, because there has been some pretty big news that's been shaking the gacha space recently.
Big.
It isn't shaking it as much as it would have a year ago, because HSR, the game, that everyone had a lot of, favorable thoughts for it. Everyone thought there was a lot of potential here. It's got another opportunity to fuck it up again. Because
can we check it on Google Trends? I'm very curious. Okay, so looking at the graph here, yeah, there's not much excitement. Well, we're kind of going back to like normal. I think this is where it, maybe this is where the Fate collab released. Okay, it was in July 11, 2025. And yeah, this is it. Was peak SSR last year. It was around that time, right? A lot of players are obvious. I think this is where it was announced. And the players came in, of course, to try it out. And unfortunately, there was a little bit of disappointment. So, of course, there's also the dryness. But I feel like there's a little bit of a bump here. And if you see over here, we're about to climb up. So I think a lot of people are starting to log back in, looking up stuff for SSR, including myself, trying to get ready for this. So kind of the same level of excitement and sentiment about SSR. But now, hopefully, they can deliver. So that way, SSR can grow better off from it. So let's see.
Guess what's coming? Yeah. Part 2. Part 2, ladies and gentlemen, of the Honkai Star Rail Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works collaboration.
I wouldn't be surprised if we get a Cyberpunk Part 2 where we can get David and shit.
When this was announced, like 2-3 years ago, people thought that this was going to be the craziest shit ever. People thought that this was going to be the best thing ever. But instead, what we got last year was one of the most disastrous collabs the space has ever seen. We all know, actually playing through the quest, they decided to cut out literally hours of dialogue, hours of great storyline, hours of good voice work, just to have what many consider to be one of the worst silent films in gacha history.
Yeah, a lot of people gave it like, and people were very generous on this one. They gave it like a 5 out of 10. A lot of people did, including myself. Like the story was, I think the best highlights of the collab was definitely the characters. Archer is free. It's a tier 0 unit, actually. I kind of want to bring this up as well. If we look over here, Archer is the best unit. He's the best unit in the game. Now, of course, you have to take into consideration, typically you're going to have to want to add a premium unit. I don't know which one. I'm pretty sure Sparkle works well with him. So, and also Sparkle is free. I think he also got buffed as well. I think that's why Archer just skyrocketed in value. Also, this guy is free, and I think he's one of the best sustains. So you already have like 3 free-to-play characters, completely free. You can just use and, beat content. So it's looking kind of good due to the free Archer that we got through the collab. I feel like that was the best highlight of the first collab. But besides that, in terms of content, in terms of story, it wasn't the best. Of course, there's Saber, and I think Saber isn't doing the best in terms of meta relevancy. Yeah, she's like a tier 1 unit. Even on release, a lot of people saw that Archer has a better damage potential than Saber. I think also Saber is like supposed to be AoE, and for that you have to look at something like Pure Fiction, where Archer is obviously not going to be good at all. But looking at Saber here, where is Saber? Wow, Saber is not even there yet. So Saber just sucks, I guess. So hopefully we can have buffs for her because of this second wave. That would be freaking nice. Shouts out to Castro for standing the test of time, man. For all the people that doomed it, get fucked.
Playing out throughout this quest. And I think one of like the biggest kickers ever is like when you get like, is it near the ending where you go to Britain? They decided to go ahead and reskin Leeway and or Finon's birth.
Yeah, it was Finon. Yeah, it was Finon. And so I don't think it was Leeway. It looks like Leeway, to be honest. It definitely does. I think it was Finon. It really reminded me of that one more.
Shit, and just call it Britain. They put so little effort into this collaboration. So little, like, budget. So little, like, actual, like, effort that it's been clowned on repeatedly ever since. Especially considering that they turned Caster, one of, like, the core servants in the
Jesus Christ. What the fuck is that? Dude, SSR needs a little bit more polish. Like, you can't even see the mouth in that screenshot.
Rail War, they turned her into a fucking Pentaconi NPC. This was one of the most disrespectful things I think that the entire space has ever fucking seen. And
Yep.
it's actually legitimately blowing my mind that they got a second opportunity to ruin the Fate franchise again. I don't think that there was a single person out there that looked at this collab, looked at the lack of effort being put into the quest, look at the actual... looked at the dog shit quality and excuses for why they weren't able to bring the VAs into office to like record the voice lines. I don't fucking know. Like, call it poor planning. COVID was over 5 years ago, so what's the fucking excuse here?
True.
I thought Nasu and Fate were gonna sue HSR for fucking it up this badly, but I guess they were happy. Nope.
Because I'm pretty sure the numbers were still good. The highly anticipated Fate Stay Night collaboration Honkai Star generated approximately $91 million to $100 million. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're very happy about that. They don't necessarily gonna care about having the game. It's still about the money. Hey, I don't care what you do over there. Here are my characters. You bring me that check, all right? You got it.
Wait, that this collaboration is kind of like starting from ground zero?
That's just the sad reality of corporate, man. That's just the unfortunate sad reality of corporate. They don't have to as long as the numbers are there, and it's understandable.
The only way up, or the only way to go from here, guys, in terms of expectations across the community, is up. You've already taken them, shattered them on your fucking knee, then like stomped on all the fucking pieces until it's just splinters.
Yeah, it's kind of what we've seen with Genshin Impact as well. What they do is they do atrocious. They do it very poorly. Players obviously revolt, and then they do the bare minimum. So that way, now the players go, well, you know what? We at least gotta, we gotta bite off. We bit something off, right? We didn't go empty-handed. And so the players feel somewhat satisfied. There's a little bit of satisfaction because they're heard technically, because that's how the company was trying to do things. It was supposed to be super bad. It's a manipulation tactic that works. I've covered this a long time ago in one of my first videos of how Genshin Impact manipulates you. This old marketing tactic in China, especially that Hoyo especially is doing, and it works. Sadly, it works. It's a manipulation tactic that works, especially if you're unaware of it, because a lot of players are just unaware of this. So yeah, and a lot of people just cope. There's a lot of cope, of course, when it comes to the treatment how certain companies do towards their players, especially when you don't have any other game you can play because of the limitations of your devices, etc. Especially Genshin Impact, a lot of players are playing it on mobile. SSR2 probably. That's probably the only games you have access to that you can play on your mobile device. So those are the best games. Like, what are you gonna play otherwise? So you can't just quit. You don't have a better alternative. So you stay there and you cope with, well, at least we got something, right? You make mental gymnastics to excuse the necessity that you have only those games to play, unfortunately.
Hoyoverse right now when it comes to collaborations. And I think this is going to be the funniest part ever when it comes to this whole Unlimited Blade Works collab part 2 and all of that. It's all happening after this one. And do you know what a debuff this is for Hoyo?
It is. Oh, it is. Because we know Wuwa is going to bring their A game on this one. We all know, we've seen the track record in the past. We all know what Wuwa is going to be doing. Of course, we're going to see all kinds of quality. You see the trailer too. We know quality is going to be top notch, right? Wuwa and quality is really up there. After that, Wuwa will be setting a new standard on what players will expect collabs to be like in the space. Is SSR going to live up to that? Hell no. There's no way. I don't even think the game engine allows that to happen. However, are they still going to make a lot of money off of that? You bet your sweet ass they will. And that's all that matters ultimately. Whether it's for the Fate Stay Night company or the Hoyoverse, they don't, man. They don't care. They're making all good money, man. Look at how much money. Look at how much hype I got. Look at how many players are checking out my game again. And when they look at the tier list, when they look at the excitement that's happening right now, there's so much to look forward to. I feel like SSR is not like Genshin, because it's not Kai Hao Yu, it's David Young. I don't know if David Young is still there. Let me look that up. Okay, he's still there. So David Young is still there. David Young does things differently than Kai Hao Yu, which is the guy that's in charge of Genshin Impact. The reason why Genshin Impact is doing as bad as it is because of that guy. And back in the day in Honkai Impact 3rd, it was Kai Hao Yu, the guy in Genshin, was in charge there. He was ruining Honkai Impact 3rd. And the only saving grace Honkai Impact 3rd started getting is when David Young became the dev leader in the Honkai Impact 3rd, which proposed Honkai Impact 3rd to be a beloved title before Genshin Impact's release, of course, because Honkai Impact 3rd was the first successful game Hoyoverse has released. So Also, the reason why Genshin Impact is not changing is because Kai Hao Yu has like 40% shares. He has the biggest shares in the Hoyoverse company. They can't say shit to him. That way can't do dick for you, my man. Especially when it comes to Genshin Impact. The only saving grace Genshin Impact can ever get is for Kai Hao Yu to either retire or they change his role within the Genshin Impact department. But I don't see that happening anytime soon because bro found an infinite money glitch and he's gonna exploit the fuck out of it until it's over. So what I'm trying to say here is David Jiang being in charge here could enable us to be more hopeful of potential development and good changes happening within SSR and maybe quality, especially to SSR, because it's just not the same as Genshin Impact. They almost look the same, but they're not. Obviously, SSR is slightly better. They really try. They don't have to be as good as WoW. Obviously, they can't, but at least to try as much as possible to where we can see the effort, where we can see the blood, sweat, and tears being put into trying to make this as good as possible, considering what they have in hand in terms of gaming engine, etc., etc. So, hopes to that. Hopes to that.
The Wuthering Waves X Cyberpunk Edgerunners collaboration is going to be hands down the best story the gacha space has ever seen when it comes to a collab. The best models the gacha space has ever seen when it comes to a collab. Nobody can even deny that right now. It's probably the most faithful representations an IP has ever had. And alongside that, probably the best story because we got the literal writer of Edgerunners talking about how his team personally worked on the story of the project and that there's going to be a lot of sadness in there. The stars are aligned for a collab like this to be the best one ever made and to be the sort of like bench.
No, I think we already know it's gonna be. What else is there? Aloy from Genshin Impact? What the fuck is there? When you look at the quality, when you look at how the character models look, etc., of course it's gonna be the best. This will set the standard that unfortunately none of the Hoyo games are gonna live up to, at least in the near future. But we'll see in the future, long term. We'll see.
That every future and past collab is gonna get compared to moving forward. Honkai, Star Rail, and Fate have the reputation for making one of the worst collabs in gacha history. They're going to get followed up by one of the best ones, and then they get to release their part 2. That's rough, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
That sounds painful, doesn't it? That doesn't sound like a good spot for Hoyoverse, does it? No. So let's see. Knowing all that info, guys, let's see just what Hoyo has prepared.
Uh-oh.
The Holy Grail War begins anew!
But again, like, as long as you remember that, you know... it's a turn-based game. It's obviously not the same game engine, etc. It's not as bad, all right? Like, look, obviously it's not supposed to be better than WoW, but it's not as bad. And I feel like as long as you maintain this level of realism in your expectation of this collab, the better off you are, personally. And I feel like you can digest it and be more tolerant to, you know, not the peak quality that WoW will be offering. I feel like it's fine. I feel like for me personally, as long as the game is still satisfying, I wouldn't mind adding it to the roster, and looking at this character, I just might.
The average one, prodigy of the Tosaka family.
All right, so the first one that they're going to be putting in, it looks like they got Rin.
Yeah, and Braxophone, and I think Fobmaster are going crazy over her.
I think that for an Unlimited Blade Works collaboration, this is the unit that most, if not all people, were expecting to be in the fucking collab. I think most people are kind of just like blown away by the idea that Unlimited Blade Works didn't have Rin in the first place. Because if you know how the Fate franchise, this was kind of like the first...
I feel like Archer and Saber are very more well-known than her. Because I know her too, and Gilgamesh too. I know all these characters, but like Saber, like, gotta be there. And why have another waifu? Because they're trying to give you a character for free, and they're not going to give you a waifu. Why not keep that for part 2 when they can give you a dude that is tier 0 in Memory of Chaos? So it works out. It's fine.
First big sign that you knew the Fate franchise was cooked when it came to these collabs. The like heroine, the romantic interest of the Unlimited Blade Works route is her, not Saber. Saber's just regular Fate Stay Night, but they put in Saber as the fucking female collab unit last year. So people are kind of just like, what the fuck are you guys even like doing in the first place? Putting,
you know, it's for normies like myself, because I know a little bit of Fate Stay Night. I've watched it, but I didn't watch all of it because I know Fate Stay Night is huge. Like, there's so many versions of it or some shit like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Saber Excalibur is Fate Stay Night to me. Like, for a normie that is not too well versed in the Fate Stay Night universe, her, Gilgamesh, and Archer, they paired together, and Rin was like also with them there. But for me, like Rin, I don't know, it didn't vibe with me. But Saber, Archer, and Gilgamesh, those I remember, those vibed with me. So yeah, I think all in all, I feel like when it comes to the normies, Unless if you're a Fate Stay Night fan, obviously you might have a problem with this. But for me as a normie who just watched this one Fate Stay Night anime, I'm good. Like I feel like I'm fine.
Saber in here. So I'm glad they got it right here. But second, what the fuck is she wearing?
Oh, she looks good.
They did a pretty okay job with Archer and Saber when it comes to like,
I like the red jacket.
having some semblance of like a outfit that matches their anime design. What the fuck is even going on here? Is she supposed to be like at the academy? Is this like post storyline? What's
how does she look like? The outfit she has is just a little better. Yeah, she wears a red top and a skirt. So isn't that? Yeah, I feel like this is just better than her original outfit. Am I nuts? No, it looks good. Looks like a better version of what she usually wears.
like happening here? Like I'm not sure if this is like a coat. Like what is like this coat? What's this?
Yeah, so
like, was it too hard to just, I don't know, like find a blend? The OG artist of hers made this design. Maybe this is, I mean, I feel like just like based off of like where we're.
Okay, Sanji's just trying to do him too hard over here, man. This is, look at, you're trying too hard there, man. Just relax. Fuck. It's fine. It's good. Shit. It definitely beats this whatever school attire she got going on over here. Like, it's fine. It's good.
Proportions, all of that. I feel like this is like a way older version of Rin, probably like in her like mid-20s, something like that. So maybe they wanted something that
could be a thing too. True.
Like, I don't know, like in her mid-20s. So that's what they were going for, I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't look terrible, but it is what it is. She's gonna be a quantum erudition.
8 out of 10.
I guess that makes sense to me. It's just maybe she should have been fire because she's red, but I guess you're gonna do red quantum instead. Hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
And humanity's oldest
The man of the hour.
I liked how they needed to differentiate between Gilgamesh and My Day, and so they just made Gilgamesh tiny. Yeah, they just made Gilgamesh like a twink because they knew he looked too much.
True. He's a big Giga Chad, if I remember. Let me pull him up. Oh, there he is, the man of the hour, man. Look at him. Bro is huge, but not too huge. Maybe it's just the armor. He's not as I remember. I remember him being big as shit. Or maybe that was a different hero. But yeah, I guess it's okay considering the lack of armor. It's fine. Oh man, this picture cooks, bro. Gilgamesh and Finon. Oh man, that is clean. It's fine. Minus the armor. You know what they should do when he ults? He wears his armor. That would be cool.
Much like My Day. He still looks like My Day though. If we're frankly,
who the fuck is My Day?
Honest, so I guess they put more clothes on.
Do I know My Day?
How can they do Gilgamesh dirty like this? I don't know what they were kind of like thinking, putting on like this BDSM gear on him. Like, but he literally has like BDSM like gimp suit gear. I don't know, man. Maybe like,
I think it looks
where's
good.
his armor? Like, bro, why couldn't they do his armor? And if they wanted him shirtless,
he'll look weird. He wouldn't look like an SSR unit. They did him like this, I feel like, to be more true to the designs of the rest of the characters.
couldn't they have just done him shirtless in his armor? Oh, wait. That looks just like fucking My Day. I forgot. That's My Day.
Oh, hey. Oh, shit. They do look alike.
Do you see why they didn't do the gold armor for him?
Oh, fuck. They do look a lot alike, man. The design is very close.
Rough, right? Yeah, you guys probably see how the gold armor would have been really rough, right?
Yeah. Well, okay. Gilgamesh, if the first thing you see on Google here, he typically wears his armor. So as long as he's not shirtless, he would look nothing like Gilgamesh. But I guess they just had to do him a bit like that because maybe we're going back to the Finon planet thingy and his thematics are kind of similar to that one or something. I don't know. Maybe he has something to do with My Day. Who knows? Maybe they want to insert him like that or something. We'll see. But we gotta admit, yeah, they're very lookalikes. And My Day farms a little bit more aura than Gilgamesh here, but he still feel like Gilgamesh is solid. Considering he's gonna be free too, I feel like he's a bunch of a badass. Also, this guy is very high on the tier list, if I remember too. Yeah, here he is. I saw him. I've seen him before. I didn't know his name. Yeah, My Day is very high on the tier list, so maybe he might just, you know, maybe work with them or something. I feel like these two characters working together, they look like brothers or something. That'd be kind of cool. I don't know.
He's going to be an...
What? What? What?
Electro destruction?
His path. Okay, so he's lightning and destruction. Destruction is fitting. I guess he uses lightning. Sure, whatever.
Guy that opens the gates of Babylon and draws an infinite number of weapons from like his own like magical storage is not imaginary. You managed to make Gilgamesh not imaginary? Are they gonna put Aya at least? Aya is like the definition of imaginary, though. Is he not gonna use Aya for his ultimate? Bro, I don't even have any faith now. I feel like these guys don't even know what they're fucking doing, bro.
That's that classic Saint Tonchas dooming. All right, let's disregard that for a second. True, I would say imaginary would have been nice. Quantum too would have been okay-ish, but lightning is fine. I don't think it's bad. I feel like as long as it's like Saber being arrow. Oh well, the sword disappears. That's why. It's like sure, whatever, but it's like I don't know. Maybe imaginary when you consider Excalibur as like this huge beam of light should have been imaginary because the light attribute is imaginary. So lightning is a close second to imaginary in terms of what it's supposed to be. But not quite. I feel like the elements are a bit all over the place when they give them to a character. It's like this, they're telling you what they might be doing, but it doesn't necessarily matter. For me, it's not like the same as Genshin Impact, right? I don't know. For me, the elements have lost their identity way back in the day for SSR. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like for me, when I see, for example, Casters has a dragon that shoots fire at you. Why isn't she fire attribute? Well, she's quantum because she summons in from a dimension and shit. But I guess anyway. I appreciate the subscribing, man. I really appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already.
Like at this point, this just looks ridiculous. How the fuck is he Electro? He would have been the same elements and role like My Day then, bro. Make him like fucking imaginary Hunt then, bro. Bro, I don't know. Make him like imaginary something else. Bro, make him imaginary Remembrance. I don't give a shit.
I think Destruction is fitting because he does a lot of AoE. As you can see, he's probably gonna summon a bunch of weapons from portals and just destroy everything, right? It's fitting. Destruction is fitting. Lightning, well, we'll see. We'll see. We still have to see how he looks like, how the animations and everything are.
I don't like these outfits are kind of mid. I'm gonna be honest. These outfits are kind of mid, and they're kind of
yeah, 8 out of 10. I feel like they're better than average. Right, they're good. They're good. They're not the best. I'm not gonna give them a 9 or a 10. They're 8s. Like they're good to look at, but not. Oh my god, holy shit.
Gonna lead me back into the points that I was making before. I think that these designs definitely don't hit home in a similar way that other collab designs are gonna hit home. Namely, I don't fucking know. You could have just made them look like they did in the fucking anime, but apparently I heard that like
nah, Ren doesn't work on. You know, she's gonna wear a schoolgirl outfit. This is weak.
The creator is actually the one that modeled these. Hey,
yeah.
Sometimes, not everyone's the CEO of their company forever. At a certain point, maybe you can say, all right, it's time to go to bed, old man.
What the fuck? Are we gonna compare that to this? Where is she? Shit, did I move it? All right, so are you gonna compare the new one to this? Look at how good this looks, and this is just a vanilla ass design, man. For the time, it was good, but now it's whatever. This is good. It has a lot more details. Looks more 2026. I don't know, man. I feel like this is good. Like, look at this and look at this, right? It's just not the same. So I think I don't know, man. Saint Tontas dooming stuff. You know, let's anyway.
Maybe it's time to go to bed, old man, and get the fuck and just like go the fuck to sleep for a second and let the professionals handle this. Because these designs kind of look like shit. I'm just gonna be honest. Maybe some people really like them. I personally,
yeah, perspective. Yeah, there it is. He said it. They're based. Yeah, it's perspective. I think for me, they're good. To him, they don't do the job. So it is what it is.
No. Knowing the track record that these guys have managed to do, I'll go with this. I think the kits are probably going to be fine. I think the kits are probably going to be good. I think the animations are going to be decent.
Yeah, they're going to be
good. When it comes
to
things like the story, when it comes to things like the production value, the plot, all of that, I've got no faith at all in this collaboration.
I hope they can. David Young, I believe in you, man. You can do this. Like, you heard the feedback, you saw. Don't fuck this up again.
It's probably the story that's going to happen over here. There's going to be like some sort of like summoning experience. Gilgamesh is actually not going to be a servant. He's going to like reprise like his Fate Stay Night role and actually be like, I don't know, like one of the summoners or some shit. And then they're going to end up like going to fucking Babylon or something. Then they're going to probably bring in like some Grand Order shit. Because apparently these splash arts are just like an amalgamation of like everything in the fucking series. She's got like Ishtar earrings, like fucking base color design, and the sword from Heaven's Feel. Maybe Rin's a servant now. Bro, I don't even fucking know at this point.
We don't know,
All I know is that this story over here was the most around the fucking globe, pointless, contrived garbage that I don't think anyone even registered. They just either finished it to finish it, or they just didn't finish it. Because this story was so fucking bad. Ham-fisted joke. And you wanna know what the worst part about this is? People said that Nasu the original writer and author of Fate, or some shit like that,
Was with him.
signed off on this story. Guys, people said that the original writer signed off on this quest.
That check must have been good. Oh yeah, that check must have been juicy.
He got the bag.
Oh yeah.
1000% got the bag.
There it is.
You know this dude doesn't care as long as you pay him enough. He
Yep.
took the bag and ran away.
A lot of these, it's like Star Wars. A lot of these old writers that had this very successful IP, they just milk the fuck out of it. Why would he care? To be honest, if you're him, do you really care? Not really. That caring that much doesn't pay the bills. All right, just pay me. If I signed off without getting in your way, would you pay me more? Yes. All right, pay me more. All right, bye. Players are still happy because not everybody's going to be disappointed in the story and everything. Some players are still satisfied. It's vanilla as fuck. It doesn't matter. Whatever.
These guys, lead writer of Edge Runners, all of this, guys, this is a company. Cyberpunk is like an IP that CD Projekt Red has. This is an entire company. They're not just going to do it for the bag. They've got a reputation and shit and production value to protect.
Yep.
This is going to be my personal take. You got this collab coming up right after this one. The original Fate dog shit collab. This collab is going to set the new gold standard moving forward for like stories,
Absolutely.
character designs, kits, all of that. And Honkai Star Rail is going to have the biggest shoes in gacha history to fill when it comes to actually being able to fucking compete, bro.
Nah, I don't think they're even gonna try and do that. They're just gonna do as best they can, considering what they have in hand, and that's it. That's all they're gonna do. Then I don't think they're gonna try to compete because they can't. They don't have the tools to compete. They just have to make sure we see how much effort was put in, and that's it. But the reality is, it's over before it even began. Because we already see, it's obvious. It's like place your bets. Everybody's gonna bet on Wuthering Waves being a superior product than in terms of the collab. Because, well, obviously, look at the game engine, look at everything. Like, of course.
And I feel like this collab might have way less hype, way less fanfare, and honestly, it's probably going to get shit on even more than the first one ever did. Because this one over here,
I hope
guys,
not.
People just called it bad. People just said it wasn't good. People just pointed out
vanilla
that
as
assets
fuck.
were reused. Do you want to know what's going to happen in like August of this year? You're going to have everybody putting shit like this side by side with shit like this. And then saying both companies had a year to work.
Tribalistic douchebags are the ones that are going to be doing that. We don't necessarily care. Clearly, Wuwa is a more better polished game with a better game engine than fucking Honkai Star Rail. Duh. What the fuck are we even trying to do with that bullshit? Like, fucking duh. Jesus.
Both companies announced this shit a year in advance. Both companies, right, have a lot of money to work with, but Hoyo has more. Wuwa's doing this with less. Wuwa's doing this with smaller IPs and stuff like that, too. And the results are actively better. I don't know. I guess to me, I kind of expected like a lot more. Oh, wait, maybe it'll be this. Let's check this one out. This is the last little bit they got over here. Get a collaboration exclusive 5-star character for free. Gilgamesh or Archer. Oh, and you got Nasu supervising it. Oh, that's not good. I guess the Fate units are basically permanent, which is like kind of good. I assume their banners are just going to keep going. And I guess like Archer, it didn't really matter if you skipped him because you could theoretically just get him again and you've always been able to get him, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess Gilgamesh being for free.
Oh, no, you don't have to skip him because he was given out for free. If you were there, I just got him for free. And now I can just get Gilgamesh too.
Is good. I just hope he's like not shit, but at least they're doing something like this. But in all honesty, I feel like free gacha collab characters have just kind of become the standard because, as we all know, Rebecca's free.
Rebecca's
in
free.
The Woobob one. And so, yeah, they're probably going to give the less popular character. I think it does make sense that Gilgamesh is being given out over Ren. Ren's probably going to be the most popular for reasons. Makes sense to me. So, yeah, I mean, playing field is obviously very even. Playing field is super even for the free collab side, but I think we've addressed pretty much everything else that's really going to cause a lot of issues for Hoyoverse moving forward. But maybe they'll learn from this. Or maybe we'll
There it is. Oh, based. Fucking based. There it is. Yeah, that's my hope. They'll learn from this and they can deliver a better product where we can see the effort they've put in this time. Where they were like, okay, we heard you. We kind of fucked it up. We were lazy on the first one. Our apologies. All right, here you go. We did as best as we can with what we have. Great. It's not going to be as good as Wuwa. We all know that. Fucking duh. Anybody that tries that, it's just dooming for no reason. Besides like trying to virtue signal and grandstand because they have an issue with associating their own self-worth with a video game and try to dunk on others that don't happen to enjoy the very same video game that they think is the best. it's just weird ass behavior online. We don't like tribalism anymore. I feel like there's tribalism fatigue in this space. We're gonna keep calling it out as much as this is present. We're gonna call it out. But it's like Saint said here, they might learn from what happened before. They should. That's the expectations, the logic. But we could be wrong because it is Hoyoverse, though it's a different department, different dev leader, David Jung, and David Jung has proven that he can do things different than Kai Haoyu, who is in charge of Genshin Impact, because usually Genshin Impact is what gives really Hoyoverse a very poor reputation in terms of dev-to-player relationship, but that's not necessarily the case with the Honkai Startup Department, and my hope is David Jung can do what David Jung does, listening and doing at least well towards the player. He's not going to be as good as Kuro, but, you know, he's okay. He's a good middle.
Fucking silent film all over again for no goddamn reason. But it is what it is. Let me know what you all thought about this one. Let me know if you're hyped. And let me know if you're going to
hyped.
to Honkai
I
Star
feel like
Rail.
I
certainly won't be, but I'm very excited for the video.
A bit of an 8.
Out on this topic very, very, very soon. Let me know what you all thought. Peace out.
Yeah, I feel like all in all, I feel like that was a decent take. You know, there's a little bit of that spice, that Saint Tontas dooming, right? It's classic. But besides that, I feel like he was pretty fair in his approach. Like, you know, it could be exactly what we wanted all this time. And if they do score it, I would love to add SSR to my roster. Because I'll be honest, this is what I'm hoping for. I just want to see the security. Because when I look at the tier list, when I look at some of the efforts they're doing to the story, they're listening to the player feedback, they're doing better now. I don't know about you, but that kind of is what makes me comfortable to want to keep up with a live service gacha game, right? It's those very elements. So as long as they can do that, I would love to to go back to SSR and add it to my roster and have fun with other things as well. Because whether you want to compare this or that, the fact is WoWa only offers 15 minutes of gameplay. NTE also offers 15 minutes of gameplay. I just want to add SSR there too, because why the hell not, right? And so, yeah, that's going to be my personal take. I think people should, of course, manage their expectations. That's kind of why I wanted to hear what Saint Tontas has to say, because obviously he's a little, you know, he has that little bit of a doom. I feel like, we pointed out some of the, just say, over-the-top, doomy type of takes, right? So that hopefully players are just reminded you don't get too triggered and too emotional on how he went about, his expectations of the collab, right? And also for us to have a balanced expectations of things to come. We can be hopeful, but we have to remember what was and what they have to deliver on. In fact, that's very important too. And if they can succeed, I don't know about you, but that would be a huge W for the entire community, because that just means we have another toy we can start to enjoy every single day. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Peace.